This way? Nope, I got to point this way. Gary Vaynerchuk. Hey, I can't even hit him in the head.
Yeah, it's great to have him as a guest today, you
Yes.
know, supporting what we're doing and vice versa. So, I'm really excited. I know we had just discussed this prior to going on how one of Gary's presentations has so much value and meaning, especially when you're just getting started. So, I'm a great fan of Gary. So is Mike's. Hopefully one day he'll be on our show. We talked about maybe when we get our 100th episode. I guess that might be the magic number to get a physical Gary with us. But in the meantime, we're happy to share him with you. And Mike, tell the audience some insights here.
Yeah, we're going to bounce into Gary, and then we're going to break down what he's talking about, how it relates to us in business on LinkedIn, because he's
Mhm.
got some great points. This is a 20, 22-minute presentation, but we're only going to go through a few spots that I watched this morning, and I think for 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 you and for Don and I, that we only teach the things that we do, and we're not on TikTok. Don and I, we're not. I'm not saying that we won't be on TikTok, but we're not early adopters in a platform that was mostly singing and dancing. Now, Vaynerchuk has said that it's the right time to get on, but it's a whole nother venture
Mhm.
because you need. He said a minimum of four videos a day, and they're shorter videos, but still you're in the video production game. So
Mhm.
it's not a thing, and this is what you and I talk about all the time, Dad, is you don't try something once and like, that doesn't work. That's not how it works. So that's why I haven't gone onto TikTok yet, because I don't have the extra people on my team and my bandwidth to say, all right, I'm doing four a day for 40 days. Like,
Mhm.
unless you can say that, then it's not worth trying to poke around, right?
Yeah, I think it's a matter of confidence also. If you're confident in what you're doing, and my philosophy on LinkedIn is there's so much more about LinkedIn I could be doing to take my eyes off the ball and start something fresh and learn that whole different venue is a distraction and dilution. Now, sure, if you're Gary and you got a huge team and you got tremendous content already, populating makes it a lot easier. But here's the point, it's that shiny object syndrome that people fall into. Like you say, yeah, they get excited about TikTok, and then after 10 days, they get tired. Well, if they didn't have a 40-day plan, they should have never put the first day in, right? Who would go on a trip, go halfway, run out of gas, and go home, you know, and keep doing it? That's even worse. So here's the point, and I think it's a valid point. You have to have a team, you have to have a mentor, a partner, whatever, to help you filter all of these opportunities, right? And to keep you
Yeah, and
safe.
you have to have someone that you trust that has a system that if you decide to say, okay, I am going to take on the next thing, you're jumping into a system, and if as long as you deploy the system and you get results,
Mm-hmm.
so that makes it doable. But if every new thing that comes, first of all, you're not going to have a plan, you're not going to work the plan, and then you don't have a system, it's going to be tough. I mean, I didn't really have a system when I started with LinkedIn almost 4 years ago. I heard Gary Vaynerchuk speak for an hour and a half and said, you got to do it. And then it took me 5 months to get it figured out. I made a lot of mistakes. I had 5 people on my team in 5 months.
Hmm.
And it started to really take off. But every day it was real. I was relentless and looking at the data. I'm a data guy. It would have been a hell of a lot easier if we had like two people like Don and I could have just bought in and basically said, all right, they said, you do this and you put your maximum energy and effort in, stay focused, and do this for this amount of time, you'll start to see success. Whoa, what a blessing.
Well, and we even create a program with LinkTank mastermind group that we have that really puts somebody right at the front of the line for $47 a month as an intro price, and to have an hour a week with both me and Mike every week, right? and be able to really personalize, what we're doing. This is what, I think Mike's talking about is we have a system. And here's the other thing. We're both a work in progress. We're learning all the time, which is great because we haven't peaked. And the other thing, we're teachable. So if anybody's got something that could help us or give us an insight or share with the group or what we're doing now on LinkedIn Live, because I think that's tremendous, the capabilities that LinkedIn Live offers people to communicate in real time with real people, with real interaction, not drop it off as a comment and pick it up as a post and, be kind of dislocated, but also share the best of the best. And that's what we're doing today with Gary, and trying to show you how you can integrate a lot of Gary into what you're doing. And we're kind of the, let's say, intersection, right? Because Gary's Gary, right? You're you, we're us. By combining, right, you get the best of the filter without having to do all the scouting, the research, the development. Like Mike says, who's got time for data, right? You got a life to live. Why not let someone else do it, share it with you, get you on a fast track? And I think that's the secret of Gary's success is he's always so simple, direct, basic, fundamental principles, and they work. That's the beauty of it. And,
All right,
and if,
let's hear what he has to say, Don.
yeah, for sure.
There we go. Will you let me know if you can hear it? Thumbs up, Don.
And so, I think it's always and. Everyone's like, or they're like, Gary, I'm already on Instagram. And they love using like logical excuses like, Gary, I need to focus. I'm like, cool, knock yourself out. I'll talk to you in 36 months when you're crying. You're focusing on losing. The lack of humility and the lack of interest in putting in the work on a new thing because you just figured out the last thing is why most people don't grow.
Yeah, so he's busting everyone's butt about they were Instagram stars and making the jump to TikTok, which he goes on to say that he wasn't happy about it because every time when a new one comes out, he's like, "Ah, shit." But he knows that if it's got the chops, that he's got to be there, and it's even work for him. But what he talks about is the humility, and that humility shows up when I speak with a lot of people because they don't want to put themselves out there because they're starting from nowhere, which is where everyone starts. Because 99.9% of the people that are watching this or doing this, unless you're like some superstar on LinkedIn, you've been on LinkedIn for 4, 6, 8, 10 years and you're doing nothing with it, and everyone's doing nothing with it, and I was doing nothing with it. I was on it for 6 or 8 years. We're all starting in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about your ego because everyone's in the same spot. It's time to find a method and a system that you can deploy and use. So that was like one piece of that, which I thought was really good. The other thing that I think is huge is that he's telling you that TikTok is an opportunity because of the arbitrage that's happening now with that platform. But and it's an and it's available right now in LinkedIn. So this is why the opportunity exists right now in LinkedIn. So Don, you want to put a thought in on that?
Yeah, and I think the takeaway from my standpoint is the word humility, right? That was in that clip. And the key is one of the real attractions is authenticity, right? We always talk about being liked, trusted, on LinkedIn. And how do you get to that point is by being honest, right? And by serving and being grateful. Me and Mike have seen so much progress when you take that extra little time to comment, right? And show a little humility, right? When you start off your statement with thank you, or I appreciate this, or I really was impressed with that, right? Why not start out with them strong, right? Not with you weak and then catch up down the road. And I think that's what Gary's saying. If you look at Gary, how's he dressing? A lot of humility there, right? He could wear anything he wanted. And the point is, he just wants to be like everybody else so everybody else could figure out if he can do it, I can do it. And if he tells me how he did it, it's even easier, right? And that's what me and Mike are doing on a, let's say, a smaller scale, but closer to the surface, right? Because the stuff we're doing, I guarantee you, Gary isn't doing every day himself, right? So I'm saying we focus on what we're doing, and our goal is to build a bridge out there with knowledge and experience that can get people on the other side faster than they would have been on their own. So, anyways, that's what I picked up. Be grateful, show humility, be modest.
All right, let's go. Let's go back to Gary V.
There's not an accident that I've been winning on every platform for the last 15 years. It's called humility and hard work. You think I was pumped when I had 1 million followers on Twitter and Instagram came along? I was pissed. I'm like, I'm fucking winning this bird game. But I'm like, fuck, everyone's gonna go there, so I need to go. You think I was pumped when TikTok came along? I was dominating the gram. I was like, that's where it's gonna be. So the lack of humility and the lack of like, shit, I don't wanna learn this new thing, I just got this, that's fine. There's a problem though. What you want has nothing to do with what the market is doing. The market doesn't give a shit about your feelings. The market's not like, oh, Tyrone spent a lot of time on fucking Instagram. We should not create TikTok. You think God's thinking like that? Get the fuck out of here.
So, yeah, it's learning something new. That's for the program that we run, the LinkedIn Done For You program. In 2 to 4 conversations every day with amazing people, thought leaders, TED talkers, just incredible people. And then their offer is a fast action pricing that comes in a Panda doc with 3 days to consider it and act, and then it shuts off. And I don't chase anyone. And Lynn will follow up with them and stuff, but I can't remember the last time I tried to get on the phone to convince someone to be into the program. It just doesn't happen. And the people that end up as clients, we've got just about 70 clients now, are all people that just could hear the message that Gary just said, which is learn something new, because this is new for all of us. Like, there's very few people that are in our group that before they were in our group were banging out videos and on social media and producing content. I mean, we have TED talkers. We have some amazing TED talkers, but that's like a lot of preparation for one like big event. It's not this continual process. So we don't have anyone that naturally is in the game that says, okay, I'm just going to add LinkedIn and comes to us. So everyone is learning something new. We have people that are starting with very little technical skills. And so, it's more of a challenge to bring them along. But if they're willing to do the work done, then I'm willing to teach them, to be able to use the technology for video. The script, we've mentioned it so many times. New software that comes out that makes things that used to be very tough and very time consuming available. Going live. I mean, can you imagine 5 years ago if you wanted to go live? Like, what'd you do and what'd you have to do? And now we're using, Restream as our studio, and then we just, hook up some buttons and then we just push some buttons and then we're live. So it is a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity on LinkedIn, but you have to have that learner's cap on, and it's being saying, I want to learn something new. But it's no different, Don, like in business. Right? Like you go back 30 years ago and when you were doing your business, and then came the internet, and then you got great stories with, eBay, and you learned every platform new.
Yeah, but the key is, and I think that's what we bring to the table that's getting rarer and rarer, is a lot of that old school, traditional relationship building, real professional sales ability, right? That can be transitioned to LinkedIn. And here's the key with LinkedIn Live, and that's all I'm doing right now. I mean, really, every day I do LinkedIn Live, and here's the beauty of it. Every time I go in, I come back with 100 people who watch something that only took me 12 minutes. And every time I do another one, I get another 100 people for 12 minutes. So if someone says, hey, walk in that door, there's 100 people in that audience. Can you talk to them for 12 minutes about what they came here to hear you say? How many 12 minutes would you give up relative to what are you doing with it? And I think to tie that into what Gary's saying is the only quotient that's really important is time, right? If you have the time, learn more, do more platforms. If someone says, hey, I got the time, I've got the commitment, I've got the work, I say, go for it, no question. But if you say, I'm only going to put 2 hours in a day and I can't keep up with what I'm doing, now I'm going to add a platform, right? Then what's going to happen, right? Put a gallon of ice cream in a half a gallon container. What do you got? A mess. So the point is,
That's what you got done.
yeah, you got a mess. And I see people, you see people all the time, they're making a mess, right? The way they're doing LinkedIn, the way they're not doing LinkedIn, philosophies
Yes,
that have no
it's
basis. I mean, you know, you can't re-educate people who don't want to learn. So the point is your best bet, whether it's us, whether it's Gary, there's 100 other people, believe me, if you search out, you can find experts in what we're talking about. Get with them. It's worth the few dollars. They're going to make you happier, confident, more successful, you know? And the question is, now that you know about us, now that you know about Gary, maybe some people have never been introduced to him before today, right? Go watch his videos. From here on, remember we told you Gary's a guy you can learn with and you can trust his information because he is data based. So getting back to everything we're saying, and this is a common thread through our program and in LinkTank, you know, our collaborative mastermind group, is that joining together is rewarded on LinkedIn, just like what we're doing right now. Both of our posts are happening with this video. And as soon as this gets finished, we'll have a post done for us with no intervention on our part. And LinkedIn announces it to everybody. So the point is with Gary, okay, Mike, you got his whole
yeah. I put it up there so just in case people weren't familiar, now you can find him. Gary V. Just put it up. He's got almost 4 million subscribers now on YouTube. Um, so yeah, that's Gary. So Don, let's give him a little bit of the wrap up juice. I can't stress this enough that we are here to support you. We answer questions by LinkedIn message. We've got, as Don said, LinkTank below. It's $47 a month. It's a steep discount. We're just getting rolling with this. And, we're once a week getting together with a group that's building. It's a great group and helping. I mean, that's it. We created something very low price to help a lot of people because a lot of the programs are very expensive, and that's fine because if you're delivering massive value, and then you can charge a lot. But that actually boxes out a lot of people that aren't ready yet. So that's why Don and I created this. So that's a resource for you. We're doing Link Tank, twice Monday and Fridays at 2 p.m. And we're always pulling up something like this with the Gary or going through specific strategies or tactics that you can always learn for free. Both Don and I have a newsletter that we put out there that's also putting up some great information and in our daily posts. So you couldn't give away more free information. And plus, I've got like 8 workbooks that are available on my my landing page. So all the information's there. It's really up to you. If you are called to figure out how to use LinkedIn to get sales, and it's not happening for you now, then the next step is finding anyone that can help you, be pointed in the right direction, and then committing because it works. It's not just us telling you it works. There's a lot of groups that are being very successful, helping people, change their life on LinkedIn. That's the opportunity to change your life. So what will you do? If you're struggling and some months you're making more money and some months making less, and we're keep telling you you have an opportunity to change your life, change your business, change your trajectory, sell your company, go from herding to sustenance, scale, acquire another company. One of my close friends runs a program how to buy a company with no money down. And so, the way you do that is you add value and you put in a buyout agreement that says if you're doing, 2 million right now and I'm great at, Facebook ads and I take you to 3 million, then, I want to own the company. But right now you just give me 5%, I'll earn the next, 50%. So I'm 55 and you're 45. No money down. But the way you find the companies is on LinkedIn because this is where the conversations take place. So anyway, I can't stress the opportunity enough. It's going to be here for a limited time, whether it's another year or a year and a half or two or shorter. We don't know. Right now, there's an arbitrage. We're getting visibility, organic reach from LinkedIn if we do the right thing. So be the one that's doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think that's just great. And I think the key word is taking the next step. And you know what I find? The majority of people really want to do good and are trying have plateaued. They just got to a point and they can't get above it. And they're running out of ideas and they're getting a little frustrated. And that's the time for redirection, right? Reinvention. And what I like about LinkedIn Live is you can create your own persona that you always wanted, right? Because it's new, it's exciting, as long as that's who you are and that's what you want to be. And I think me and Mike, we see what's working. And, at this point, Mike's right. We're building a prototype, and that's why it's so inexpensive to get into it, right? Once we pick up the 5, 10 extra people that really build the foundation, then prices will be based on value, not based on introduction. So I take advantage of that for sure. And if you like the direction that we're going with our conversations, if you like what we like and you want to see more of it, join the group. And if you really want to get serious and get in the game, right? So right now we're selling passes to the game, front row VIP seats. We also have programs that you can get in the game and be a player, right? And play hard, play strong, and advance at the pace that you want to move, not at the pace we can teach, right? Mike has so much information. If you could digest it all, you'd be on top of the world. But in the meantime, it's a good place to start. So we hope this is a conversation you share with other people when you get done watching it. That's how this audience can grow. Reach out to us if you have some topics you'd like us to discuss. And you can check out our profiles, get to know us at your own leisure, and reach out to us. We're always open and accessible. So thanks again for joining. Look forward to continued conversations and check out Gary V. It's worth it.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you Friday at 2 p.m. LinkTank out. Done. Ciao.